Hi, and welcome to the walkthrough for the Soho IG Stories template. My name is Melanie Gray, and today I'm going to show you how you can use your new template, how you can customize it, things to look out for, some tips and tricks. So let's get started. The first thing that I always urge people to do is to head over to File and make a copy, and that's just so that you have the original on your home base whenever you feel the need to start from scratch. So whether you make a few left turns or you need a little bit of you want to go back to the beginning and just know that it's the fresh beginning template without any of your adjustments, then you have it there on your home base. Once you've done that, then it's time to upload your own photos. So head over to Uploads, Upload Media, and you can either select from your computer or select these three dots and then choose where you're hosting your photos. So for me, I put everything in Dropbox, and I absolutely love the function of being able to click Dropbox and then just bring things in automatically versus trying to search for them on my computer. It is such a great feature. Once you've done that, then you're just going to want to swap out the photos, probably. So I'm going to grab a photo and pop it in. And then I'm going to double click so that I can rearrange it in the frame the way that I'd like it to sit. If it's not sitting right, like you don't want that vertical, you want more of a horizontal, then my trick for you is to grab the edge of the frame, copy and paste, and Canva makes it really easy for you to do this on your keyboard. So they give you the short code. So it's Command C and Command V on a Mac. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and bring down that copied frame underneath, and of course send to back so that I can see my writing there. Now you have two frames, and when I double click, I can resize that picture within the frame itself. Just bring that in. And now you can showcase two different photos on IG Stories instead of the one. So we have made adjustments on a lot of these images, and that's so that they match the tone that we're going for in the template. You can do the same with your photos. You can definitely adjust the tones, and I'll show you a few tricks on how you can do that. But if you just want the original image, then just select the image frame, head over to Edit Image, See All, and then hit this Reset button here. And that's going to reset to the original color. So you can see from the top frame that there's a lot more orange, there's a lot more yellow, it's a softer look, and down here it's cold, it's more modern, it's a little bit more sleek. It's the look that we were going for. So if you don't want that look, then by all means, head over and reset the adjustments. If you want to make your own adjustments, then I'm going to show you some tricks. Edit Image, and you're going to be using these adjustments here. So Canva has a whole bunch of adjustments. They just added a whole bunch of new ones. And what you want to do is just play around with them so that they match the tone of the listing, of your brand, of the look that you're going for on Instagram. Whatever it is that you want to adjust for, go ahead. Sometimes listing photos, you can have photos taken and the room looks different in the photo than it does in real life. So you walk into a room and it looks crisp and clean and modern and muted in all those tones. And in the photo, it looks like there's an orange or yellow hue to it. So a way that you can adjust for that is to adjust the warmth. So if, for example, up here, I was looking at it and thinking it looks a little bit too yellow. Like there's a little bit too much like soft yellow in there, and I want it to look really crisp and modern. So I'm just going to bring down the warmth. And by bringing down the warmth ever so slightly, you're not adjusting anything more than just that warmth in the photo. Now you have a little bit more of a modern feel, a little bit more clean, a clean aesthetic, more neutral in tone. And that is how you make those kinds of adjustments. You can make all kinds of adjustments. You can adjust the brightness, like sometimes a dark room needs to be brightened up a bit, and you can adjust it. I would just urge you to go small, because it can be so tempting to be like, whoa, yeah, now my photo's so bright and it looks like that bright white effect that everybody likes. But oftentimes it can look blown out like it does in this photo here. So just less is more, less is more. If you want to make it brighter, move it up one point at a time and try not to blow anything out. Next, you might want to change colors to match your brand. So I am going to change the color here. You can change any element color. You could change the background color. You can change element color. You can change font color. So I'm going to show you how to change color by doing the font. So I'm selecting the Soho. I'm heading over to the font selector, and I'm just going to choose a random color let's do like something like that. Now that I've selected my color and I love it, I'm going to head down here and hit change all. And that's going to change all instances of that color throughout my document. So I don't have to do it, which saves so much time. And you can do it for other things as well, like this element here. I might want to change the color to this and then hit change all, and it will change all instances of that color, and then I don't have to go through and do it. So you might also want to change the font. You might have your own brand fonts, or you just might not like this font too much. Not a problem. Head over to the font bar, and in this search bar here, when you click on it, you're going to have all these tabs underneath that that are searchable terms for types of fonts. There we go. And if you want to maintain the modern minimal look of the template, then I would urge you to select sans serif. And sans serif just means they're more linear. They don't have the fancy little feet on them. They're less classic and more futuristic. So, and of course, modern. So what I like to do is for the headings, select one that's a little bit more bold. So like this one is a little bit more bold. And then for the subheading, choose one that's similar but less bold. So now we have a new heading and subheading font, both modern minimal fonts. They match the tone of the template, so you don't have to worry about that. You would just need to make a few adjustments to make the sizing work. And then go ahead and change colors to match the template itself, the new colors of your template. And of course, change fonts so that you can see them. And where Canva allows you to change all the colors in one instance, with that nice change all colors, they don't have that feature yet for fonts. So you are going to have to change the fonts for every template. But the good news is if you don't need the template that day, you can just change them as time goes on. The next thing that you might want to do is to pop in your own headshot. Sorry. So I'm going to pop in my headshot, and I'm noticing, oh my gosh, it's black and white. I don't really want it black and white. That's because we've made adjustments to the majority of photo frames in this template. So you're going to head over to edit image, see all, reset, and voila, now we have a colored template. But I don't like the way I'm sitting in that frame. So I'm going to double click, move it over, and I'm thinking it's a little bit small. So let's adjust where I am in the frame, and there we go. Now, the photo in the background of this is blurred, and we've blurred this image so that everything in the foreground is in focus and draws your attention. It draws your attention to it. So I'm going to show you. If I pop this photo in there, oh my goodness. If I pop this photo in the frame, you'll notice that it has a blur effect. If you don't want that blur effect, select the photo, head over to edit image, see all, and then under blur, you're just going to bring that down to 0. And that will restore the image to its original glory. But like I said, we want that blur sometimes so that it draws our attention to the foreground. So these are, and this is the perfect template to discuss this with, because these are Instagram stories, you know that you can add stickers in Instagram stories. So for this particular one, I would either delete the text completely because we can add it on IG stories, increase this box in size, change this color as well. Okay, and now we can use this as a frame so that when we go to IG stories, we can pop in the question box directly in here, and it will act as like this really nice frame around the question box to add. And this is a great way to add. So if you have your brand colors and you want to add brand recognition to your IG stories, this is a fantastic way to do that because you're adding a little bit of your brand colors right there in IG stories without having to worry about, oh, how do I make this look branded? How do I make this look branded? How do I make this look on brand? How do I make it look like it's part of my company? This is how, with these little slight adjustments that you can make in Canva and then bring it on into IG stories. Okay, we lost all the text because we changed the color, so you're gonna have to make those minor adjustments throughout. For your logo, you can upload your logo to Canva, and if you have Canva Pro, you can select, once you upload your logo, select it, and then use the background remover to remove any background that's on it. So sometimes you have a logo in JPEG format, you upload it and it has that white background and you're like, I don't want that. Background remover is great for that. There's also free tools online that you can find that will remove your background for you. But if you have a PNG version of your logo, then upload that and you'll have the same transparent background effect. This or that, this is really fun to use on Instagram stories because you can actually get people to click which one they want with the poll sticker, I think it is. So just remember that when you're creating these for Instagram. I created them so that they looked good as is because not everybody wants to use stickers. But if you do want to use stickers, a great trick is to just adjust this slightly. So I'm going to move this up a bit. I'm going to move that down a bit. And then I'm going to shrink that. And then in the middle here, I can even make this a bit bigger. In the middle here, I would put the poll sticker so that it's not on top of the images. It's right in the middle and you can do the thumbs up and thumbs down and you can get people to select that way. But you can also do it on top of the image itself as well. It works that way as well. This is a iPad that we created outside of Canva. So double click and you'll see that you can move it around in the frame and you can shrink it and you can make it work however you want in this frame. And it was made specifically to showcase either your listing or a freebie. So if you have a free resource for your audience, you can showcase it in this iPad. So right now we've used the example of a comparative market. It's the Soho CMA that you can also get in the shop, but I put that in here to show you that if you have your own CMA, you can pop that in there. If you have a feature sheet, you can grab a screenshot of that and pop it in here and then showcase it that way. And this creates a mock-up effect so that your audience can get an idea of what it would look like on their iPad. It's a very effective way to showcase what you've got. And look at this. This totally needs to be fixed. But hold on, let me just change that. So yes, so once you've changed the colors of things, some things will need to be adjusted, but it's so easy in Canva and it takes a few seconds. When you're ready, I would say head over to the grid view. I love using the grid view, which is this button down here. And when you open it up, you get to see how everything looks together. So you get to get an idea of, let's say I'm doing story 1, 2, 3. You'll get an idea of how that will play out, which is a really great way to just see, does this have a branded cohesive look or do I need to make a few more adjustments? Once you've done that, you are good to download. And another thing that I'm just going to mention quickly is animation. So any template that you get now for Canva can be animated. And I just want to say less is more and consider your brand. So if your brand is playful, then by all means use playful transitions. You can use pop, you can use all that. If your brand is more laid back and feminine and elegant, then you might want to do a fade, right? Just have something more subtle. So just always be thinking about what look you want to present, because animation can be so much fun, and clicking a button, it's like, oh cool, look what this can do, oh wow, I love that. But if you're not thinking about how you want to communicate, remember that every single part of your design communicates something to your audience, even something as small as animation. So if I'm choosing stomp, it's a little bit more playful, it's a little bit more playful. I would say playful, and it's not as high end as something like pan or rise or fade. So just pay attention to the tone that you're creating when you're doing animation. And it's very tempting to do different animations for everything, but I would say try to keep with one animation throughout. Then you also can do things like text animation. So if I select the text, I can do typewriter, I can do block. Pay attention to that as well. And then once I have created the animation, you can decide how long it's going to animate for. And that will mean that it's going for 3 seconds, etc. So that's how you play around with animation. Once you've done all of this, it is time to download your file. Hit download, select PNG, and then you have the option of downloading all of them at once, or you can unselect that text box and download just the ones that you're going to be using for that day. Once you download, you send it to yourself any way that you would normally send yourself images, so AirDrop, Dropbox, email, Google Drive, any way that you would normally send yourself images to post on Instagram. And that's it. If you need any help, please feel free to email us at hello@4thstreetcreative, and happy designing.